Good morning, YouTubers. Well, excuse me, I've been extremely sick for the last week or so. Fever, temperature 38.2 or 3 or something. So we haven't really been anywhere or done anything. So I thought I'd sit down on the couch today and just do a video about 10 things that will shock you in the Philippines if you come here. Well, maybe not shock you, but they will certainly surprise you and something you need to adapt to. Really culture shocks, I suppose you would say. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button down there in the corner, guys, if you haven't already, and click the like and drop a comment for us. And I hope you find this informative, and it helps if you're planning to come to the Philippines for a holiday, or if you're planning to retire here. You really will need to adapt very quickly when you arrive to these 10 things. So let's get into it. Number one, heat and humidity. You won't notice when you first step off the plane because you're still in the airport and it's air conditioned, but I do remember that the second I stepped out the front door of the airport, it just hit me, and it was summertime here, which is now April, May, was actually March 31st, the first time I arrived here a few years ago, 2021, I think it was. And yeah, it really knocked me for a six when I walked out the door. So if you come from a hot climate, and I do from Australia, I thought, heat won't bother me. I'm used to 35 to 40 degrees, no problem. But it's the humidity that kills you. It's average 80% here. So even right now, I'm sitting here, I've got the aircon going in the bedroom and the fan going out here, and I'm still sitting here sweating. So you'll need to adapt to that. Be ready for that when you get here. Number two, language barrier. It's in Manila and some places, the very touristy places like Cebu, Palawan, Dumaguete, Iloilo, you'll find a lot more people speak English. But if you're coming to meet a Filipina that's in a remote area, for instance, remember there's I think 153 different dialects here, and it can be very difficult. Tagalog is the main language spoken everywhere, so if you're planning to come here, I would recommend that you take some Tagalog lessons, learn just a little even, so it'll help you when you're trying to navigate around. As I said, if you're in a touristy area, you'll find a lot of people will speak English, but even the people that speak English, of course, speak that with a Filipino accent. And for somebody like a Brit or an Aussie, Kiwi, Americans don't find it as difficult because the Philippines, being very Americanized, their language, their spelling is all US. The accent they have when they talk is very American. So I find that when I'm talking to someone, even at a sari-sari store, I'll use a slight Filipino accent or even a slight American accent. I did have friends that said, oh, you'll lose your Aussie accent, and by the time you come back here, you'll be speaking like an American. It hasn't happened. I haven't even started to lose my Aussie accent, but I do use a slight American accent sometimes when I'm talking, so it makes it easier for the people I'm talking to understand what I'm saying. So my advice, learn a little Tagalog, just some basic stuff to help you get by. Number three, cold showers. Again, if you're in a touristy area with hotels and you're staying in hotels, you'll probably find they have hot showers. So But if you're going to visit a Filipina in the province somewhere, they are not going to have hot showers. So the cold showers wasn't a big culture shock because the heat and humidity here, it's not an issue. I've found that I can step in under a cold shower instantly, no problem at all. Back home in Australia, no chance. I couldn't, even in the summertime, I couldn't have a cold shower. I'd have to have a warm shower at least. But so that's something you'll need to adapt to, cold showers. And some places in the province, they won't even have a shower. They'll just have what they call a water tab, and you'll have a tabo, which is like a plastic saucepan, and you wash yourself with that over the top, which is all cold water. So be prepared. Again, if you're staying in a hotel, no issue. If you're visiting a Filipina, you'll probably find you're going to be using a tabo to shower. Number 4, and this was a pretty big one, no toilet paper. Again, same in the hotels, they will supply toilet paper for the foreigners, but the majority of the Philippines here, we have a bidet here in our bathroom, and we have a shower. So we're in an apartment here in the city, but when we go out to our land, there's no toilet paper, there's no bidet, there's no shower. It's just water tabo. So again, you use the tabo as a bidet to wash your backside. So that was a big culture shock. I've adapted now, and I think it's a much better way. It's much cleaner to wash yourself than use toilet paper. But for me, I grew up using toilet paper my whole life, so it was a big culture shock when I came here and found that I had to use a bidet or a tabo to wash myself after using the bathroom. Number 5, traffic. The traffic is insane in Manila anyway, and even here in Masbate City, 10 a.m. it gets very, very hectic with traffic. If you're planning to rent a scooter, if you're planning to live here and buy a car and drive, you really will need to adapt to their way of driving here, which is pretty much opposite to the West. You'll find here, if you have the right of way, you don't. If you don't have the right of way, you do. So if you we have no traffic lights here in Masbate City at all. There are, I think, 2 roundabouts throughout the whole city. So there's a lot of intersections and T-sections. You just need to slow down, honk your horn, and make your way through in the traffic. If you're stopped at a T-section trying to get out onto a main road, you really need to be aggressive and push your way out. If you start to push out, the traffic will stop. They won't road rage you here, they'll just stop and allow you in. It's super crazy sometimes, but it just works. The traffic here, it's a strange system, but it works. People are all driving very slowly anyway. There's no speed here. You'll find 30 to 40 kilometers per hour is average here, and people will just stop. But yeah, I have a friend, an American friend, and he hadn't driven here. He's been here 6 years, and he has a driver's license. He rented a car. You guys have met Tony from Lacuson. He rented a car a few weeks back and drove out to Barwood when we had our wedding anniversary, and he was a little shocked also. Even though he's been here for 6 years, he'd never driven in the traffic in the city. When you get out of the city, it's not so bad. It's like any other open highway, but very slow with bad roads. But in the city, it takes a lot of adapting to. Number 6, access to cash. This is a complete cash society here. You can use your Visa card in some places, but it is very, very limited. You will find your international style hotels, some supermarkets, places like that, it's no problem, but even most restaurants, you can't use a card, you need to have cash. All Surrey stores, no one has a little FPOS machine and can just use your card. It doesn't exist here. It has to be cash. And access to cash can be sometimes a little difficult, so I always recommend to people to have 2 or 3 ways to be able to access your cash, because banks, brownouts, banks can be down, ATMs can be down. It can be difficult to access money sometimes, so plan ahead. Make sure if you're going to need your cash in a few days' time, get it organised now. Make sure you have the cash. So, because this place is all about cash. So the old guys that prefer to use cash rather than plastic will have no problem. Number 7, strange gestures. I found it difficult to understand when someone says, "Come here."
Come here.
I'm like, you want me to go away? There's no "come here." It's "come here." That's how they say "come here." Pointing doesn't exist. In fact, they find it quite rude if you use your finger and point with the lips. So if you see a Filipina and she's doing this, no, she doesn't want to kiss. She's just pointing to something else. Very, very strange custom, but welcome to the Philippines, right? No, they generally don't use their head to say no.
And no.
This is no. So if a tricycle driver says, "Tricycle po," "Dili po," "Dili po" means no, sir, and this is no. Some very, very strange gestures here. Number 8, and this is a big one. Cell phone signal. Internet and just cell phone signal here is woeful. It will drop in and out, in and out. You can send someone a message and it can be an hour or 2 before they receive it. Sorry guys, I had to take a break. I'm really feeling quite weak at the moment. I'm on the other side of it, but I still think it'll be a couple of days before I get right over it. So I was talking about cell phone signal and how long it can take to send and receive messages. You can be in one spot where you have cell phone signal and then a minute later you have nothing. You live in a country like Australia, and people there in Australia complain about the internet service there. That's nothing compared to what you get when you come here. It's very, very intermittent. No matter where you are, you think, "Oh, I'm in a bad spot, so I'll move to a better spot with signal," and you get signal and you stand there so you have signal sorry, and the signal just drops. So be prepared when you're here to have worse cell phone signal than you get back home. Number 9, rats, cats and dogs. I've never seen a country with so many dogs, cats and rats roaming the streets in all my life. The rats, and this is a true story, twice now, not once but twice, I've been in the supermarket here in the city. We've been walking up the aisle and a rat has literally run across the aisle in front of me, and no one bats an eyelid. It's just like, it's commonplace. It's not unusual to see a rat running around. They're running around in the streets outside here when I'm having a coffee sometimes in the morning. a rat will just cruise on past me looking for some food. In fact, the other day, cats, dogs and rats don't seem to know their place in this world. The other day, a rat went hopping past me with a cat following him like he just wanted something to play with. He had no intention of trying to kill him, and dogs don't chase cats either here. It's weird, they all coexist. Like, you're a cat, I'm a dog, you're a rat, we all just live here. Everyone just coexists. So the amount of dogs, if you're going to drive, it is mayhem sometimes with the dogs on the roads. You really need to be careful. Sometimes they won't even move. You honk the horn, and the dog just scratching itself in the middle of the road, and you'll need to actually come to a complete stop because there's traffic coming the opposite direction, and you can't get around the dog until the traffic's gone past. So that's could have been included in the traffic section. I'm sorry, guys. I really am struggling. Number 10, last but not least, being stared at. If you're in one of the touristy areas, Dumaguete, Palawan, Iloilo, Cebu, you'll find they are very used to seeing foreigners, but this is not a multicultural society. Where I come from in Australia, it's multicultural. We're used to seeing people from all walks of life. Asians, Italians, British, American, Indian. It's not unusual to see 10 different nationalities when you go to the supermarket. It's quite normal, and we've adapted to that. Here, some places, especially out in the countryside and the provinces, some of the kids have never seen a foreigner. So when they see me, the kids just stare at me. They're looking at my eyes because my eyes are blue, and all Filipinos have dark brown. They call them black eyes, but they're actually dark brown. And they're all the same color. So for them to see a foreigner with green eyes or blue eyes or hazel eyes, it's a novelty to them, so they will stare. It's a little bit like being a rock star, I suppose, and I've adapted to it now. It doesn't bother me so much, but I remember when I first came here, it was quite unnerving walking around with everybody literally staring at me. It's a foreigner. Like, they were amazed there's a foreigner there. So just 10 of the things that I found that were culture shocks, I suppose, when I came here. So I hope this little video has been informative. Again, guys, don't forget, if you have any questions, and I'm no expert, but if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. If I don't know the answer, I'll attempt to find out for you and get back to you. No problems at all. Thank you to all the new subscribers we've got. Thank you to all our new members. Thank you to the guys that have donated through Super Thanks. Thanks to the guys that have donated through PayPal. We really do appreciate all your support. We're still growing the channel. We're here for the long haul. I'm sorry I didn't get out and get something done this week, but I've just been so knocked down with this fever and shakes and sweating, and today basically was the first day I've started to feel like I'm okay, and it's Friday, so you know, I had one day to get something done for a video to get posted for you guys, and decided, well, I'll do an information video. I can sit here on the couch so I don't fall down and collapse. I'm already in the sitting position. So I hope that's been informative, guys. Don't forget to check the links in the description below. I always post a link to the website where I met my gorgeous wife, Christian Filipina, and hopefully we'll be back out next week and get some more footage. We're just in the process of trying to fence our boundary now. We were in negotiations with the local government there for them to take a section of our land, and I was trying to negotiate some materials, building materials from them for that. That's all fallen through. So I'm not even going to get a concrete access road right past the edge of our land now. So that's a bit of a disappointment, and I will explain that in the next video when we're out on our land. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Hope it helped you and gave you some information, and we hope you stick around for the next one. From an Australian in the Philippines, peace out.